What's up, wine friends? Welcome back to our final recap pairing review of Bridgerton on Netflix. We are talking about episode 8, and y'all, there's a lot to discuss because I feel like they really wrapped this up quickly. How did you feel about that? We're gonna get into it. If you're new here, my name's Shayla Bernardo. I'm the founder of Black Girls Wine and host of this here channel, so welcome. If you love wine, lifestyle, fashion, beauty content, then this is definitely the channel for you. Go ahead and hit subscribe. Okay guys, so episode 8 had so much for us. Like, so much happened in episode 8. There's not a review long enough to really break down and talk about everything. But first things first, the whole getaway of Lady Whistledown was a little bit, I'm not gonna say, I was a little frustrated because I wanted everyone to know who it was and I wanted to know at that moment. And of course we find out later, but I really wanted to know when Eloise went running to, to warn Lady Whistledown and blah, blah, blah. Y'all, I was just like, girl. But I will say I'm glad that she did it because I feel like what would this show be without Lady Whistledown to stir up all the drama? I feel like we can't talk about the ending of this season of Bridgerton without finally having a full conversation about Anthony and Sienna. Sienna, girl, I understand you was trying to get yours. I do, and I understand the need to look out for yourself. But did y'all see how heartbroken Anthony was? Like, I think maybe she could have handled that a little bit more delicately, but I know that is not something that she is necessarily familiar with because of where she is in society. So I guess it's expected, but I really just wanted her to at least, when you love somebody and you're there for him, I wanted her to feel that because he looked really heartbroken and it seemed like he was actually ready to give it a chance. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen some pictures floating around online, but there are some sneak peeks of who our next love match will be. And I am going to pop it up here on the screen. I officially have saved it. I saved the screenshot this time for you guys. And I wanted you guys to see her because I think she's gorgeous. And I am super psyched for season 2. All right, so the Duchess and the Duke are finally, it's like a final match to a fight in this episode. So he is like toiling with the idea that he is basically sacrificing his marriage and sacrificing everything that goes along with having this amazing woman in his life just because of some promise he made his dad. So the whole, the Duke, I'm not gonna lie, he really got on my nerves. Like, at this point in the season, I was no longer his biggest fan because I feel like he just should have handled this a lot differently. And one thing that I will say that is common, look, as a married woman, when you first get married, you really are trying to figure out each other's communication styles, and that's something that never changes, right? Because as we grow and mature and that kind of stuff, throughout life, your communication style may change, especially with the changes in challenges of getting older together, jobs, kids, whatever. Here's the thing. These two, their job, I mean, yeah, he has a job as a Duke, but come on, y'all. Like, they just make communication so complicated. And this is coming from somebody who is well aware that it can be tricky sometimes. They just really work my nerves. Simon specifically. But I am really glad that Daphne pressed the issue and they did come together. The scene at the dance was like really beautiful, and I was really glad that they did have that moment because they obviously, they've been looking at each other, giving each other eyes for a long time now. Like, it's just kind of like, y'all are in love, make it work, talk to each other. And he was real dramatic about those letters. And I mean, I'm not saying that his father wasn't evil. His father was definitely the spawn of Satan. However, I feel like you could have just had a conversation with your wife. You have to be able to trust your significant other with precious things like that. And he didn't even give it a chance. And I think that's what frustrated me most. But I am glad that they finally got it together. This wine is delicious. Before we finish this recap, let's get into the wine. So today I am pairing this wine with House of Brown. This is a new Chardonnay. They're released under the House of Brown label, and it is absolutely delicious. When I say delicious, y'all, it's fire. Now, the label says that we should get hints of gooseberry, guava, and I think like a lemon lime. I'm getting the guava, but for me, I'm also tasting a little green apple. I really enjoyed this white wine, and it's one of my favorite Chardonnays, and since this is one of my favorite shows, I felt like we needed to close it out with a bang. This is a Black-owned label, and I'm really excited about what Brown Estate is going to produce next under the House of Brown label, and I'm super excited to continue to share those wines with you. But this, the freshness, the fruitiness of it is so delightful on the palate. And I think that this wrap up of the first season of Bridgerton was just as delightful. Okay, so we got to get into the rest of this, wrap up this final review. You know, when it comes to the whole situation with the Featheringtons, Lady Featherington, I feel for her. She was very unfortunate. That husband, he was just a mess. You know, we all, you know, got that family member or got that aunt that married the or dated the for a long time. I feel like that's her story. Like, her storyline is real aligned with that. This man, he just is up to no good all the time, and it ended up getting him in trouble in the end. And I hate that that happened to them, because even though the Featheringtons were like, you know, new money in the Bridgerton series, and not necessarily you know, society accepted them because they had money, but didn't necessarily welcome them with completely open arms. You kind of like them. You like their quirkiness. You like their bright clothes. You like their, like, they're just such lively people, and they're so excited to be welcome into the room that I kind of felt bad for her. And we can't talk about feeling bad for people without mentioning Morena. This broke my heart. Like, finding out that the love of your life actually loved the mess out of you, was ready to come home and steal away and marry you, only for it to be revealed that he actually passed away. I do feel like while his brother was trying to defend his honor, it's a little awkward to be like, hey, my brother loved you and he wants you to be taken care of, so can you marry me? Is anybody else thinking that's weird? I want to know from you guys. Did you think that was weird? Like, in modern day, that would never happen. But even for that time, Morena was like, no. But of course, she also thought she wasn't pregnant. So her ending up marrying him, or choosing to, you know, allow him to take care of her, I just felt bad for her. But I'm hoping that she can find love with his brother the way, you know, some people are able to find love in arranged marriages. I hope that this brings her some happiness and some peace. So I look forward to seeing her storyline. I'm curious to know if they're gonna continue it in the future. I'm very curious to know if, you know, at the beginning opening of this episode, we see of course Mother Bridgerton, and she's laying in bed and she's kind of caressing the pillow. As a widow, you know, I think having her storyline kind of included in the background would be really beautiful to see, especially since we're about to watch all 8 of her kids get married over the next 8 seasons. I would really love to see her love story, because the kids admire their parents' love, and it seems like they genuinely had something there, and I think it would just be beautiful to see a flashback. So, things I'm hoping for in season 2. One thing's for certain, I gotta see whatever kid they pick to play Baby, Duke, and Duchess. I am anxious to see what that kid is gonna look like. I'm also really excited to see what is gonna come of Eloise. I mean, I know that her love story is somewhere down the line, but I'm curious to watch her continue to develop as a young woman and just kind of grow and see how that goes. She's such a feisty young girl, and I feel like we should get like a sneak peek of that, Shonda. Hello. What's coming for Eloise. And I really hope that this show follows along a true, what's the word I'm looking for? Like Shonda's track record. Y'all know she get real flashbacky after season 1. So I'm hoping that that trend continues and we can kind of get to know a little bit more about Miss Bridgerton, about Queen Charlotte, about Lady Danbury. I would love to see the love stories that are not on the forefront but are mentioned throughout season 1. And Lady Danbury never had kids. Like, so I just have so many questions about her, and I really hope that Shonda decides to answer them. Alright, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in and following along on the Bridgerton series. If this was your first video watching, make sure you go back and watch the previous videos where I reviewed the entire series and broke down the episodes. This was such a pleasure, and I definitely want to plan a watch party for season 2. So y'all stay tuned, because as soon as they drop it, I am gonna be ready. Cheers to love and happiness and more of Bridgerton in our near future.